When we talk about a green energy future, it can all feel a little abstract, right? Like this far off goal. But the thing is, it's being built right now, piece by piece, project by project. So today, we're going to dive in and pull back the curtain on the whole process. We're going to follow the journey of how modern power gets made from a single idea all the way to a global reality. So that's the big question, isn't it? How does it all actually happen? What does it really take to go from an empty patch of land to a power source that can light up an entire city? I'll tell you this much, it's way more than just sticking some solar panels in the ground or putting up a wind turbine. And this picture really shows you what we're talking about. You've got solar, you've got wind, and you've got these absolutely critical battery storage units that have to work together perfectly. It really is a massive, complex puzzle. To see how all these pieces fit together, we're going to look at a typical industry blueprint, kind of like the one used by companies such as WHT Energy. Okay, so to make sense of it all, we need a playbook. And it turns out pretty much every major energy project follows four key phases. There's the initial idea, what they call development. Then comes the actual construction. After that, the long-term operations. And finally, the investment that makes the whole thing possible in the first place. So let's start at the very beginning with phase one, project development. This is all the critical, unseen brain work that happens long before a single shovel ever hits the ground. This is where a big, ambitious idea gets totally stress-tested and hopefully turned into a viable blueprint. And this is where that idea phase gets real. It's kind of like an architect designing a skyscraper. You can't just start building, right? You've got to find the perfect piece of land, check out the environmental impact, figure out how to connect to the grid, get all the right permits, and of course, prove the whole thing makes financial sense. It's an incredibly meticulous process. And that first step, finding the right site, is everything. It's not just about finding a spot that's sunny or windy. Companies use some really advanced site assessments and market analysis to make sure a project isn't just possible, but that it's actually going to deliver a solid return on investment for decades. So once that blueprint is locked in and approved, we get to move on to the next phase: engineering, procurement, and construction. This is the exciting part, where the vision on paper becomes a physical, power-generating reality. Now, in the industry, you'll hear this called EPC, and that's just a simple way of saying it's a turnkey solution. Basically, one team takes the blueprint and handles every single thing needed to deliver a fully functional power plant. EPC really stands on three main pillars. First up is engineering, creating these custom designs that are perfectly optimized for that specific location. Second is procurement, that's sourcing all the parts, turbines, panels, batteries, from a huge global supply chain. And finally, of course, is construction, getting the expert teams on the ground to build it all safely and to the highest possible standard. And look, when this whole EPC process is done right, the results really do speak for themselves. This quote from an energy manager pretty much sums up the ultimate goal of any big project: delivering on time, on budget, and performing even better than expected. But the job isn't over just because construction is finished. Oh no. Welcome to the modern power plant, a place where massive physical assets, all that steel and those turbines, are actually run by a super sophisticated digital brain. This is the operations phase. This is the perfect way to visualize it. Over on the left, you see the actual physical battery arrays that store the energy. And on the right, that's the software dashboard, what they call a digital twin, that monitors and controls everything in real time. It's this incredible fusion of hardware and software. And this is the real game changer, right? We've moved way beyond just fixing things when they break. Now, with tools like AI and all these IoT sensors, operators can actually predict maintenance needs before something goes wrong, all while constantly optimizing the energy output and preventing expensive downtime. Okay, so that brings us to the final and maybe the most critical piece of this whole puzzle: the money. How do these massive, really expensive projects actually generate revenue and become sustainable businesses? Well, first off, the market itself is absolutely booming. Just look at this chart. It shows the incredible growth in solar, wind, and especially battery storage capacity in just the last few years alone. This is what's giving investors the confidence to pour massive amounts of capital into this sector. And for those investors, proven results are everything. Take a number like this, a 98% client satisfaction rating. What that tells you is that the final product, the power plant, is delivering real value to its customers,
which is absolutely crucial for locking in long-term contracts and revenue.
And it's the same with a number like this one. A high project success rate, let's say 85% on time and on budget, gives investors confidence that their money is being put to work efficiently, which minimizes risk and maximizes the chance of a great return.
But okay, where does the day-to-day money actually come from? It's surprisingly diverse. Operators can trade energy on real-time markets, they can sell environmental credits, and they can even get paid just for helping keep the main power grid stable. But the big one is signing long-term supply contracts, what are known as power purchase agreements, or PPAs. Those guarantee revenue for years and years.
All right, so now that we've walked through the playbook for a single project, let's zoom out and take a look at the global vision. Because this isn't just happening in one place. It is a massive, worldwide transformation. A truly global strategy means diversifying across continents. This map gives you a sense of that, showing active projects from established markets like North America and Europe, all the way to these high-growth regions in the Asia-Pacific. It's all about capturing opportunities everywhere and spreading out the risk.
And the innovation never, ever stops. I mean, just look at this roadmap for the next few years. It's incredibly exciting. We're talking about deploying next-gen materials like perovskite solar cells, which are super efficient and flexible, plus scaling up green hydrogen and fully integrating AI into every single part of the grid. So, in the end, when you put all these pieces together, the careful development, the expert construction, the smart digital operations, and the strategic investment, it's about so much more than just building power plants. The real end goal is to create a blueprint for a truly sustainable planet. You could call it an eco-haven for all the generations to come. And that really brings us to our final thought. Now that you've seen the intricate blueprint and the massive global effort that's going into this, it kind of raises a question for all of us, doesn't it? What role will you play in shaping this new energy future?